I want to introduce you to this is Joe Hill. He is the Executive Presbyter of Presbytery of the Pines. And Joe, I would just like you to, for a few minutes, tell us what your understanding is of presbytery and what you wish officers of churches understood about presbytery.
Thank you, John. Presbytery for me fulfills two roles. It is a regulatory middle governing body, which is a technical term. With this role is defined by the Book of Order. The Book of Order is very specific in saying what the presbytery can do and shouldn't do. In addition to being regulatory, it is also a programmatic arm for mission for the churches in the presbytery. The presbytery, for instance, while we have a committee of ministry that is responsible for contacting and working with pastors and congregations, particularly in congregations in conflict, in congregations in discussions, in pastoral care, providing support for nominating committees for congregations seeking new pastors, helping congregations figure out what kind of pastor they would like to have, what kind of pastoral model they might want to have in their particular congregation. They're also concerned with congregational support. The Committee on Church Development and Mission is responsible for churches who may need a little help in making ends meet financially through our sustentation program. Church Development and Mission also does the Chilean International Partnership that's responsible for international partners. That we've had a long-standing relationship with the Presbyterian Church in Chile. We have a committee called Faith Education Ministries that provides content and support for Christian education, for youth ministry, for adult conferences, for spirituality events, and those kinds of things. We have the usual administrative side, building and property and finance and those kinds of groups that most agency has just to keep the machine running. Our office is located in Ruston, within the walls of the Presbyterian Church of Ruston. We've just moved there within the past year. In a shared space, a co-location arrangement that we call it, which we think is very helpful. The church provides joint space, and we have 4 rooms that were unused Sunday school rooms in that church that we use for our administrative functions. I do lots of things in the life of the presbytery. My title is General Presbyter, which means I have general oversight of the administrative end of the presbytery. I am pastor to pastors and have a pastoral responsibility to our pastors. I also am the treasurer of the presbytery, so that I oversee the financial affairs of the presbytery. And I was hired originally to be director of camping, so I have some direct involvement and oversight of the camping programs of the presbytery. So I function in business terms as a CEO and a CFO and a COO. That's just today, and tomorrow's phone calls may be different. The presbytery is also an enabling group, that while the Book of Order has some regulations and instructions of what a presbytery ought to be, the presbytery also, because of the community nature of all the congregations being together, can do things to encourage sharing between congregations, can do things to encourage joint ministries, joint programming with other churches in the congregation. We're one of 11 presbyteries in the Synod of the Sun. So we have a relationship with 10 other presbyteries in Louisiana, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. We have a shared resource center with Arkansas Presbytery that any member of our churches can access the resource center and the resource center director in Little Rock and take part in that. We also support the Lawrence Schmidt Center, which is a pastoral care center through the Vera Laura Children's Home in Monticello. We are very active in the Living Waters for the World project, particularly through the work of Danny and Karen Logan and others in the presbytery who have made a number of trips to Haiti. In fact, Danny told me the other day that the presbytery has installed 5 Living Waters for the World sites in Haiti, and there are more sites to be done, just waiting upon workers to come and be trained to go down to Haiti and do that kind of work. We support 3 campus ministry projects. We support 2 congregational-based campus ministry projects, one in Natchitoches with Northwestern State University and First Church Natchitoches, and another one in Monticello, Arkansas, with University of Arkansas in Monticello through Holmes Chapel Presbyterian Church there in Monticello. We also support through our office a Presbytery-wide support of United Campus Ministry on the Grambling State University campus. We do programs. I've done Bible studies with the students at Grambling and other kinds of things. This week, in effect, we're supporting an Angel Tree program to send students from Grambling down to New Orleans to do some ministry in the New Orleans community through Grambling State's program there. So the Presbytery does a variety of things. Excuse me. We provide worship opportunities for congregations. We provide music resources for churches who need assistance in music programming. Annually, we've done a Pine School where we bring people from the Presbytery together for leadership training, leadership development. We're offering a program on training for elders and clerks of session and treasurers in the upcoming year to help them do their jobs better. The first time we did an elder training event in Ruston, we thought we'd get a handful of folk, and almost 90 people came to the elder training workshop. The first one we did at Camp Alabama, and we found as the people kept coming, we literally moved the event that day from Alabama's Hutton Hall over to the Alabama Presbyterian Church Family Life Center. We had just so many people come for elder training. So the Presbytery provides educational opportunities and missional opportunities and direct support for congregations. Not more than just, I want you to understand the Presbytery is more than just a regulatory agency. While that's part of who we are, we're also a part of supporting you in your local congregation as being local elders to do your work throughout the larger church.
Okay. Joe, roughly how big's our Presbytery? How many churches, and where does it kind of span geographically?
There are currently 59 congregations within the Presbytery of the Pines. The membership somewhere around 6,000 people. We stretch from, imagine if you will, a box defined by Lake Village, Arkansas in one corner, over to DeQueen, Arkansas in the other corner, down to Natchitoches, Louisiana, and across to Vidalia, Louisiana, across the Mississippi River from Natchez, Mississippi. So it's a fairly large geographic area in 2 states, both Arkansas and Louisiana. We're one of the few presbyteries in the denomination that crosses state boundaries.
Okay. All right. Very good. Well, thank you, Joe. We appreciate you and your ministry and your willingness to take some time out with our officer training.
Thank you. I wish you well.
Thank you.